Now, of course, it's too hard to do the overall seeding, but of course, Ohio State, Georgia, Indiana, Texas Tech, they should stay the top 4 seeds regardless of how this plays out. Of course, unless Texas Tech were to get upset, they should be the top 4 seeds. Um, Now, this is where it gets tricky because we talked about if Bama loses. If Bama loses and they take 3 losses, do they get in? That's going to be tough to see. We know A&M will for sure be in. Ole Miss will for sure be in. So that's 6 teams, right? Oregon will for sure be in. That's 7. Then you have the group of 5 conference champ that'll get in, which I'm going to say that would end up probably being JMU, in my opinion, because I think that North Texas actually beats Tulane tonight. So I would go JMU. And then it gets tricky because I think right now Notre Dame's at that 10 spot. But if for whatever reason BYU were to win, that would make Texas Tech fall. And if Texas Tech fell, they would stay in front of Notre Dame. And then would you weigh the Miami head-to-head win over Notre Dame when their resumes are pretty damn comparable and give them the nod over Notre Dame for getting the head-to-head? I personally would. If it was in conference, it's a different discussion because there's a whole bunch of other things metrics you can go off of. But when you're talking about head-to-head, 2 teams that don't play in the same conference, don't see each other on a year-to-year basis, you got to count that head-to-head, especially when they were both ranked when they played, I believe both top 12 teams. So I would actually have Miami jump Notre Dame to get into the college football playoffs. However, I did pick Texas Tech to beat BYU. So if that happens, BYU then would not jump Notre Dame, and Notre Dame would still be at 10. So you don't know how that could go. And then again, right at 9 is Alabama. If Alabama loses, they can't stay, but where do they fall? So this whole thing is really, really tricky. And like I said, I think it pretty much stays the same, although I think that JMU will end up probably getting in for being a conference champion. And then I would say Miami ends up squeaking in somehow, some way. But other than that, I think the college football playoffs is pretty set and it's wide open. I mean, you have Ohio State and Indiana, the 2 unbeatens. They'll play each other this weekend, so you'll see what that looks like. But other than that, I mean, really, there's no just pure dominant team. I think that something that the committee needs to do moving forward and have a strong talk about is maybe like looking at the NFL format, 14 NFL teams, because I think if you get to like the 15th ranked team, it's more of a discussion. When you're in that like 12 to 14 range, it gets real, real tricky. And I think if they added another 2 teams to the college football playoffs, it could be super, super, super important and helpful for the committee moving forward. Drop the likes, drop the comments, make sure y'all subscribe. Let me know what y'all think.